legal possibility. It is a legal possibility. If one will file a motion to strike out the impeachment complaint, that is a legal possibility, but I do not want to impose my opinion upon our good senators.
Nasa linya po ng ating komunikasyon si Attorney Israelito Torion, Legal Counsel po ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. Attorney, maayong buntag, Jade at Admar po ang inyong mga kasama. Maraming salamat sa inyong oras.
Hello. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone.
Opo, Attorney, nakapag-usap na ho ba kayo sa inyo pong kliyenteng si Senator Bato de la Rosa so far?
As of now, wala pa po. Until now, ever since nung nagkita kami mga 1:30 a.m. prior to his alleged exit from the Senate.
Opo, at balita namin kahapon ay nakapaghain kayo ng reply na doon sa Korte Suprema. Ano ho yung mga legal na basehan po ninyo hinggil nga po dito sa hiling na TRO para kay laban sa anumang ICC arrest warrant laban kay Senator Bato de la Rosa?
Well, essentially, ang sabi namin, nag-file kami mga 7:20 p.m. Ngayong araw pa sana yung deadline namin, pero we thought it best to file it today para mawala na yun sa isip namin at saka to also give time for the Supreme Court also to really study it, no? Kasi medyo mahaba yung aming originally 156 pages yun, pero somebody commented na medyo masyadong mataas. So we tried to trim it down to 117 pages. Ang aming sabi lamang doon, sana hindi tayo masubjudice kasi pending ito, pero essentially yung mga essential points lang. So the public, I have to balance also the right of the public to know. Ang sabi namin doon is essentially ang executive department cannot merely say na kanya lamang na diskresyon yung pagpa-implementa ng warrant of arrest. Kasi hindi namin give up yung argument on jurisdiction, no? Kasi sabi namin, wala namang jurisdiction talaga ang ICC dito. Kasi nga, ang sabi natin, under Article 127, Paragraph 2, only matters under consideration before the ICC. Ang pwedeng ma-extend pa yung, meron silang residual jurisdiction, no? Kasi nag-withdraw tayo on March 17 of 2019. Pero yung residual obligations nila, dapat in-exert nila yon within a certain period, no? 1 year ang tingin namin na period. Nag-seek ng authorization yung ICC prosecutor on May 24, 2021 at yung pre-trial chamber nag-authorize ng investigation only on September 15 of 2021. And then ang warrant of arrest na-issue on November 6 of 2025. So many years, no, after we withdrew from March 17 of 2019. So ang tingin namin, wala talagang jurisdiction na ang ICC dito sa Pilipinas. Kaya Philippine courts. But even then, maski i-grant na lang natin na kasi may decision na yung appeals chamber sa ICC, granting for the sake of argument, no, without agreeing with them na merong jurisdiction pa. Jurisdiction is different from domestic enforceability. Yung pag-enforce ng warrant of arrest, hindi na yan exclusive domain ng executive department kasi meron ng right to liberty, right to life of a certain person. Yung if you already affect the person's right to liberty or to his right to life, by constitutional function, sa talaga yan, sa judiciary yan. So dapat may involvement na yung ating Bill of Rights. Kasi nga po, yung Bill of Rights natin was precisely enshrined in the 1987 Constitution to check on government excesses. After nung martial law, kailangan natin maglagay talaga ng Bill of Rights para ma-check natin yung dictatorship, executive dictatorship, Marcos dictatorship noon. Kaya nga ngayon, since the ICC warrant would touch on the person's liberty kay Senator De La Rosa, dapat ito idaan talaga sa korte natin. It does not, a foreign or international request cannot automatically override the Philippine Bill of Rights. And sa atin naman, yung probable cause for arrest within Philippine territory must still pass through Philippine constitutional processes. Ang aming palaging sinasabi sa aming reply, hindi pwede i-implementa yan without a valid Philippine court-issued warrant of arrest simply because of the fact dahil sa yung surrender or extradition na nakalagay sa Section 17. Sa extradition, meron tayong rules of procedure dyan promulgated by the Supreme Court. Pero yung surrender aspect, wala tayong rules of procedure po dyan. Hindi natin kinopya lahat sa Rome Statute yung procedure dyan kasi nga po na-trace namin doon sa interpellation when the law was framed or crafted by the Senate based on the deliberations by Senator Ligarda upon Senator Gordon, kasi Senator Gordon pa lang sponsor niya. Nakita talaga doon na yung surrender mechanism would need a law. It would need a specific separate law for it to be implemented in the Philippines. Wala tayo niyan eh. Kaya nga nag-propose kami sa aming petition, kung wala yan, why don't we apply the extradition rules, no? Ayaw din ng Solicitor General. Kaya yan ang amin. So kung ayaw niyo yung extradition na rules of procedure, wala tayong surrender procedural mechanism, so dapat hindi ninyo i-implementa yung warrant of arrest. Wala palang rules of procedure. Hindi po pwede executive determination lang yan. Hindi pwede executive discretion lang. That is the essence of our argument.
Ayaw ng OSG yung extradition rule, attorney, dahil matagal po yung proseso nun?
Yun siguro ang kanilang tingin. Kasi instead of discussing the reason, they devoted around a lot of pages differentiating the concept of extradition from surrender. Alam naman namin na iba talaga yung surrender at saka extradition. There's no need to differentiate it to us. We know it. Kaya nga sabi namin, since we do not have a law implementing the surrender mechanism, we do not have the procedural mechanism as to how we can implement surrender, then we can apply by analogy lamang yung extradition. Ayaw nila kung ayaw ninyo, huwag nyo i-implementa yan. Paano mo i-implementa yan na wala pala tayong procedural mechanism yan? Bawal yan. Yun ang aming argument.
Opo, ang dating po kasi, attorney, parang pag natanggap natin yung foreign warrant, tulad nitong ICC warrant of arrest, urgent kaagad yung implementasyon. Parang meron tayong, ang gobyerno ay merong pressure o talagang mandatory na talagang sumunod dito. Parang ganun ang dating.
Ay hindi po pwede yan because that already involves arrest. And if it involves arrest within Philippine territory, then you have to apply Article 3 of the 1987 Constitution. The constitutional protections against arrest would now operate because arrest cannot be based merely on executive discretion. It involves judicial determination. Kaya nga, ang sa amin, pag mag-aresto ka ng tao, hindi po pwede na based on the discretion lang ng executive department na i-honor niya. Yung mga divorce nga, yung mga foreign divorce, palagi kong inuulit, yung mga foreign judgment, kailangan mo pa nga ipa-confirm sa korte under Rule 38 Section the Rule 39 Section 48. Kailangan mo yan ng petition for judicial confirmation. Ito pang warrant of arrest that would involve the liberty of a person. Maling-mali yan. Tsaka gusto ko ring sabihin na yung practice na idaan mo sa korte, customary international law yan. Nandun din sa aming reply. The customary international, lahat po ng constitutional democracies, ina-apply yan sa aming past pleadings. Ang daming mga examples sa ginamit namin. Gamitan lang natin yung El Masri Nasim case. Yung El Masri Nasim case, sa Italy yun nangyari involving a Libyan. Kasi yung Libyan na national, nandun sa Italy, nadakip siya based on the warrant of arrest by the ICC. Nag-resort siya to Article 59. Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, to resort siya. Anong ginawa ng Italy? Alam mo, in-entertain ng Italy and it conducted a hearing in the case and it determined whether or not his rights were violated, and the Italian court found out that his rights were really violated. Alam mo ang ginawa sa kanya? Pinakawalan siya at dineport back to Libya. We can also cite another example in Ivory Coast, the Simon Gbagbo case. Simon Gbagbo case also had an ICC warrant of arrest, but the Ivory Coast, the courts there likewise exercised jurisdiction and determined that his rights were violated and insisted on his jurisdiction rather than delivering him to the ICC. Yun ang aming mga ang dami pang mga kaso. Yun ding anak ni ni Libyan leader Gaddafi, no? And other, because that would touch now on the rights of a person. His liberty is now at stake. So kinakailangan talaga yan ng court determination. Hindi po pwede yung executive determination lamang.
At dahil nga doon sa inilabas na arrest warrant ng ICC at binansagan pa nga wanted, at ngayon dahil nga sa pagtatago ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, ang OSG mismo binansagan si Bato na fugitive from justice. Reasonable ho ba itong pagtawag po sa kanya?
That's very unfair, no? Kasi klaro naman yan ang the Valyacar Transit case, no? That's the newest Supreme Court decision which defines what is a fugitive. Before a person can be declared as a fugitive, no? There are 6 steps, no, sa aking nabasa before ka ma-declare as fugitive from justice. And it even involves a court determination also. Dito wala namang kaso siya sa Pilipinas eh. Wala naman siyang Philippine-recognized warrant of arrest. Kailangan i-recognize muna yan na meron siyang warrant of arrest before he can be technically determined as a fugitive from justice. Lumayo lamang siya sa Senado kasi ayaw na niya, ang speculation ko, ayaw na niya. Nandun ako before before the putukan, kasama kami nakita talaga niya yung hassle sa mga senador doon, yung mga staff dahil sa kanyang presence doon, no? But that does not mean that he is already a fugitive from justice because there is no Philippine recognized warrant of arrest. Kaya hindi po pwede na tawagin siyang fugitive from justice. He is just making himself unavailable.
Attorney, bago ko lang ipasa kay partner Admar, sa tingin po ninyo, gaano katagal kaya magdedesisyon ang Korte Suprema patungkol dito sa TRO doon sa arrest warrant laban po kay Senator Bato?
Well, as to that, that is really the discretion of the Supreme Court, no? It's really up to them and I do not want to comment on it, no? Kasi kanilang it's within their discretion po.
Attorney, may buntag si Admar po ito. Kung idediretso po sa ICC agad itong si Senador Bato, di mawawala po yung yung sinasabing ang ICC ang court of last resort, court of last resort at mawawala din yung issue ng yung principle of complementarity kung saan sinabi nga ni late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, sabi niya rito, quote and quote, it acts only in exceptional cases where a court has failed to bring justice because that court is unwilling or unable to investigate and prosecute those who have the highest responsibility for the most serious crimes of concern to the international community. Hindi pa nga natin alam, may naisang pa bang kaso dito? Wala din tayong narinig na reaksyon na mismo ng Korte Suprema na sinasabing hindi namin kaya yung elitist, diretso na yan sa ICC, attorney.
Isa yan din. Kasi na-discuss din namin doon na, di ba nagpadala na yung CIDG ng subpoena? Pero binawi. Kasi that goes into the investigation daw of the AJK killings. Then, pwede nating ma-argue, and we in fact argued, na yung pagpadala ng subpoena, even if binawi, we already exercised now our jurisdiction on the matter. No, it may be argued, it can be argued now in the ICC, na since the Philippine National Police has taken cognizance of the case, then ICC must respect the principle of complementarity. Kasi nga, noon wala namang talagang kaso na final dito sa Pilipinas. Totoo yan. Pero ngayon, meron ng investigation na ginagawa. So, it can be argued that based on the principle of complementarity, that the Philippines is now exercising jurisdiction on the AJK. Maganda rin yan kasi kung merong kaso dito sa Pilipinas, I'm very sure haharapin namin yan ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. No? We will file counter affidavits, we will answer it basta dito sa Pilipinas. Kasi mga Pilipino tayo, may batas tayo, working yung ating Philippine judiciary, healthy yung ating prosecutorial system. Bakit pa tayo doon sa malayo masyado na bansa na hindi na nga tayo miyembro doon? So kailangan i-follow natin yung principle of complementarity. Since we are now exercising jurisdiction, then ICC should take a hands-off approach on the case.
Opo. Maging yan po ba, attorney, yung masyadong matagal bago nagkaroon ng investigasyon ukol dito? Halimbawa, kung talagang iuusad po ng ating mga law enforcer yung pag-iimbestiga dito sa sinasabing EJK dito kay Senador Bato, maaari ba itong questionin din sa korte po? Kasi doon sa ICC warrant, way back noong siya pa ay Chief of Police ng Davao City, iniuugnay yung kanyang kaso.
Well, that's one of the grounds. Pero as a general rule kasi, pag crimes against humanity, wala yang prescriptive period eh. So baka yan ang sasabihin nila na argument din. Pero of course, if we will we will handle the case, that's one of the reasons also that we will cite. But we should take note that under both international law and domestic Philippine law, crimes against humanity, war crimes do not prescribe. And this means that perpetrators can be investigated, prosecuted, and punished at any time, regardless of when the crimes were committed. And this is actually an additional argument on our side, no? Kasi nga po, the Philippines can always exercise jurisdiction insofar as AJK is concerned, simply because of the fact that these crimes, no, these crimes against war crimes, genocide, crimes against humanity, does not prescribe. Meaning, maski kailan pa ito na gawa o ilang taon na ang lumipas, hindi yan siya magpe-prescribe kung mag-fall talaga siya under crimes against humanity at hindi doon sa mga individual crimes concerned. No? Ang problema yan kung magpitsi-pitsi sila ng imbestiga, yung murder, like for example, kung murder lang, it will prescribe. But if you will lump that together into a widespread attack against a class of persons, such that it will now fall into the definition of crimes against humanity, then it will become imprescriptible, as it is in fact imprescriptible. So, additional reason niya natin na, ituloy niyo yung investigation dito sa Pilipinas. Kasi nga po, imprescriptible naman yan, harapin namin dito sa Pilipinas. Yun ang additional argument natin.
Opo, attorney, paghahambing lang po kasi kayo din po yung naging abogado dun sa nangyaring Maguindanao Massacre po. Sinasabi kasi nila na hindi gumagana yung ating justice system. Tapos parang mas marami pa ata yung biktima na involved dito sa Maguindanao Massacre kumpara doon sa sinasabi nila doon sa ICC po, attorney. Pero nakayanan, kahit na umabot ata ng mahigit isang dekada ba yung pagdinig or trial po dito, attorney?
Yes. I was involved in the Maguindanao Massacre kasi nga po, naging involved ako dun sa state witness, no? Naging state witness sa Maguindanao Massacre, and then later doon lang ako as private counsel ni Congressman Toto Mangudadato, no? Ang aking nakita doon Maguindanao Massacre ngayon the trial may have been a bit long, pero nagkaroon ng hustisya. The accused were given the chance to prove their defenses in court. They were able to cross-examine all the witnesses, but the judge found out that they were really guilty as the evidence against them were overwhelming. So, and the requirement of proof beyond reasonable doubt was reached. So, nagkaroon ng hustisya. At ngayon, pending yung kanilang mga apelasyon, ang ibang incidents nandun sa Court of Appeals, ang iba nandun sa Supreme Court. But then again, justice was achieved. So, kung posible yun sa Maguindanao Massacre, how much more sa yung alleged AJK incident dito sa Pilipinas. So, i-file nila dito, ipatuloy yung investigation and we will face them.
Opo. Attorney, si Jade po ulit ito. Si Senator Bato, kung makukumpirma po ninyo, ay nandito po sa Pilipinas at wala po sa abroad.
Well, I'm certain na nandito siya sa Pilipinas kasi ilang beses na niya yan sinabi sa akin at ilang beses na rin sa media na hindi aalis sa Pilipinas yon. Dito lang yun siya. He is making himself unavailable simply because of the fact na nung May 11, nakita naman natin yung intention talaga ng NBI na dakpin talaga siya. Pumasok pa nga sa Senado in the morning binugbog pa nga yung mga empleyado ng mga Senate employees Anong ibig sabihin nun? They really had the intention to arrest Senator Bato de la Rosa even if the warrant of arrest had not yet been confirmed before Philippine courts, even if they did not secure a Philippine-issued warrant of arrest. That already involves deprivation of liberty, and if it involves deprivation of liberty, it is the function of the judiciary to know whether or not due process was observed, because under the 1987 Constitution, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So, kaya, he is making himself unavailable. Sino bang gusto na dakpin ka lang kaagad, hindi ka bigyan ng day in court, dadalhin ka sa Netherlands? Ito i-emphasize ko rin ang sabi kasi, he was given due process in the ICC, and ICC will give him due process there. Hindi po pwede yun kasi nga po yung ICC follows the inquisitorial approach in their justice system. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Yung parang preliminary investigation nila doon, secret, wala kang chance to defend yourself. You are not even given the chance to file your own counter affidavit. You do not even know that there is already an investigation against you until the warrant of arrest is even a secret. It is it is under seal. Mm-hmm. So, how can you say that there was due process? Ang due process mangyayari after na madakip ka Parang si Tatay Digong. Kawawa si Tatay Digong dun. Mm-hmm. Halos nga pagpirma ng kanyang signature, hindi na nga masyado klaro. Gusto ba natin mangyari din yan kay Senator Bato de la Rosa? Para bang dakpin mo na kita, sa presento ka na magpaliwanag? Hindi po pwede yun. Hindi due process yan sa atin under the Philippine concept. Kaya kinakailangan talaga yan, dadaan muna sa Philippine court.
Opo. Attorney, nag-convene na po yung Senate Impeachment Court. Ngayon, absent po si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Gaano ho ba kalaki ang papel niya kung sakali man dyan po sa Senate Impeachment Court?
Well, kung kinakailangan, I think he will consider appearing. No? Pero as of now, siguro sa tingin niya, nagmamasid naman yan sigurado ako sa TV kung anong nangyayari sa impeachment court, and I'm very sure he is monitoring. So pag yung kanyang importansya doon ay during the voting, if there is a felt need for him to be there, baka i-consideran niya yan. Pero ang sa akin lang is I hope the public will understand na he is making himself unavailable now, wala siya sa Senado, kasi existing and present yung threat, active yung threat of arrest sa kanya na pwede siyang dalahin kaagad sa Netherlands. Ang gusto lamang niya, idaan sa Philippine courts yung proseso. So, Filipino naman siya, he is covered and protected by the 1987 Constitution. Ang request niya, let him avail of his rights under the 1987 Constitution. Let there be a Philippine-issued warrant of arrest.
Opo. Kung absent, kung wala po siya, hindi naman ganoon kalaki yung epekto sa magiging boto kung sakali mang conviction o acquittal sa kaso po ng impeachment case ni VP Sara.
As of the present, kasi kailangan nila ng 16 votes as of the present, may 12 tayo, 11 lang sila. So baka sa tingin ni Senator Bato, baka hindi pa primordial need ang kanyang presence sa Senado.
Opo. Pero po pwede ho bang via Zoom, video setup, conferencing po yung gagamitin ni Senator Bato dyan po sa Senate Impeachment Court, Attorney? Maaari ho ba yun?
If there will be a resolution that will be passed by the Senate and the Senate will approve it, it's just a procedural mechanism to ensure all senators can vote. That is a possibility. We never know.
Opo, huli na lang. Ngayon na nag-convene na nga yung Senate Impeachment Court, may kapangyarihan ho ba silang magbasura ng kaso dito kay Vice President Sara Duterte?
It is a legal possibility. It is a legal possibility. If one will file a motion to strike out the impeachment complaint, that is a legal possibility, but I do not want to impose my opinion upon our good senators.
Opo. Attorney, siguro huling mensahe po ninyo para sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan, lalo na yung mga taga-suporta po ni Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Sa mga hindi nagasuporta kay Senator Bato de la Rosa, ito lang po ang masasabi ko sa inyo. No? Sana hindi po mangyayari na meron ding foreign warrant of arrest po na ma-issue po sa inyo. Kasi nga po, doon nyo na lang makita ang kahalagahan ng mga opinion po ni Attorney Israelito Torion. Kung makikita ninyo na, let us say, meron na kayong warrant of arrest galing din sa ICC, or kung paniwalaan natin yung isang dekano na the 1987 Constitution daw does not distinguish na any warrant of arrest so long as it is issued by a judge, pupwede na daw yun ipa-effective dito sa Pilipinas. What if merong warrant of arrest galing sa China against these persons at i-implement yung warrant of arrest galing sa China or from Timbuktu or from Mali or from Africa? May warrant of arrest, idiretso na lang i-implementa dito sa Pilipinas. Gusto ba natin yon? Of course, hindi. Baka mangangailangan din kayo ng abogado na hindi matitinag at mag-i-insist na dapat sundin yung ating Philippine laws. Yan po ang ipinaglalaban natin. Tayo po ay Pilipino. Tayo po ay mayroon tayong sariling konstitusyon. Mahalin natin ang Pilipinas. Dapat mahalin natin ang ating kasarinlan, ang ating sovereignty, at i-embrace natin ang ating independence as a nation. And we should insist in the protection of the rights of our Filipino citizens. Sa mga nagmamahal po kay Senator Bato de la Rosa at kay Tatay Digong, salamat po sa inyong suporta. Huwag po tayong mawala ng pag-asa. Kasi nga po, kinakailangan natin ngayon ang lahat ng dasal kay Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala na sana magkaroon ng milagro at patnubayan tayo at pagbigyan tayo ng ating hinihingi doon po sa pinaka-taas-taasan na korte dito sa ating bansa. Patuloy po tayong mananampalataya kay Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala at sa buong may kapal na sana pagbigyan po tayo. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you po, Attorney. Ayun po mga kababayan, si Attorney Israelito Torion, Legal Counsel po ni Senator Bato de la Rosa.